Hi and welcome to Pilates with Kendra. I'm going to take you through a short postnatal workout. Feel free to join along. We're going to start first off on our back. So I want you to lay down on your back. Tuck your chin in and just find your neutral alignment through your spine. So your shoulders are back and down and away from your ears. Pelvis is nice and level in your neutral spine. So there's a little bit of space between that little pocket of air between your lower back and the floor. Taking a breath broad into your ribs as we inhale. As you exhale through pursed lips, you're going to draw up through your pelvic floor, in through transverse abs as if trying to draw those two front hip bones towards each other. And letting that continual out breath wrap the rest of the transverse abs on. Holding that breath, so we're going to focus on the terminology of blow before we go. So inhale, we blow and engage, and then slowly just sliding one foot along the floor. And then breathing in to come back in. Inhale, exhale, engage the core. Remember, blow before you go so you're stable before we move. And then sliding back in. So we want to make sure that we can engage, keep that core connection as we're moving, sliding out. There's no rocking and rolling of the pelvis. Then smoothly in. And other side. So you can stay with this. Or what you might like to try is taking your heels either onto a towel if you've got slippy floor, or placing your heels on a slider, or if you don't have a slider, use a Tupperware lid. Okay, and you can place your heels on it. My heels are slippy enough on here. So the next progression is to try and keep the core stable. You can use your hands for palpation, just as feedback. And as you exhale, engage first, and then slowly pressing lightly through your heels to slide away. But if you feel any doming through your abdominals, come back in again. So you can just start a slow double leg slide. If that's too much tension, you're not ready for it, go back to your single leg. Otherwise, you might be at that stage where you've got that engagement through the core, feeling that engagement through the upper edge, but you're still maintaining that control. You can slide the legs as far out as you can, and then smoothly back in. Let's try another two of these. Exhale. So remember, you can go single leg or both legs. And inhaling to come back in. So it gives you that real feedback. Okay, and that whole core is firing. The other alternative is to bring one leg into a tabletop. And so we've got that little bit more core and stability, and we focus on the single leg slide. Then smoothly coming back in. Let's do a couple on this side. So let's go for another 3. My squeaky sock on the ground. That's my scrippy sock. 2. Then, and one more. So holding that leg in tabletop becomes challenging enough, right? Then smoothly back in. Take a reset, lower that leg down, and lift for the other side. So let's try 4 to 5 on this side. Inhaling. Exhale, find that core engagement, sliding that heel lightly out. So we don't want to dig the heel hard into the floor. We want to make sure that those hip stabilizer muscles and those deeper core muscles are doing their work. Now remember, 4 or 5 reps is too much. Just stick with 1 or 2. Each of us will feel a little different from day to day. So make sure that you're going to the pace that you can. Remember, it's quality. What I was trying to say is quality over quantity. Then smoothly back in. Let's go for 2 more. So lighten the heel load. Trying to keep this knee directly above the hip. 1 more. Then slowly, as that leg comes back in, ground the foot and lower the other heel down. Keeping the feet together, we're going to relax through the shoulders now. We're going to do some knee fallout. So I want you to take a breath and let the knees fall out like an opening. And as you exhale, you're going to engage the core and come back in. Inhale to open. Exhale. Inhale to open. Exhale to really draw that belly in. Inhale to open. Trying another 3 here. 2. And making this next one your last one. Nice work. Take the feet slightly apart into a hip width stance and your hands down by your sides. We're just going to start some bridging. So from here, imprint your pelvis into the floor. So we're doing those tailbone rocks. Pelvis rocks. So we're just going to start with these. Before you start to lift your hips, I want you just to rock your hips forward and back. So we're tucking into that pelvic tilt and then to a neutral spine. So as you go to your pelvic tilt, see if you can pull up pelvic floor, feel those transverse abs bite, and then release off. Do that again. Exhale to tuck, inhale to release. Now if these feel good for you, it's nice to sort of get that release around the top of the pelvis as well. You can do up to 10 of these, or if you wanted to stick with reps of 5 is what I'm trying to aim for today. Nothing too maximal, it's just getting those muscles reacting. Drawing that navel in so you feel a little more bite through those transverse abs. And release. Let's try this one with a mobile bridge. So you tuck the tail under. Now from here, without squeezing your glutes, you're going to pressure into your heels, keeping that upward pull of your pelvic floor. And then slowly push into the feet and shoulders as you lift the hips up. So at the top you'll feel a bite through the glutes as we engage. And then keeping the lower body anchored, I want you to roll down through your spine. Land the hips, go again. Exhale, tuck the tail, squeezing the butt, lifting up. And then lowering smoothly back down. So you can keep your arms out of action for this one, okay? So we want to just focus on what our spine and core is doing. And then rolling smoothly down. So the good thing about this is your mobility bridge is that it's encouraging you to get that curvature of that spine and engaging those core muscles. And then smoothly roll down. On this next one at the top, we're going to tuck the tail under and lift up into your bridge. Hold here. And then just see if you can bring one knee off the floor. Okay, taking the opposite hand to the knee. You're going to create pressure in the hand and knee press, but without moving. So you're pressing that, sort of drawing that rib cage across towards the hip as you're drawing in through those transverse abs as well. You're going to hold for 3. Use those hips to drive the hips up. Sorry, use your butt to drive the hips up. 2, 1, and release down. Switching for the other side, lifting that knee up, connecting our hand to the knee, engage ribs towards the hips, draw that belly in and press. 3, so you can feel that engagement. 2, 1, and release down. Now if you need a rest, come on down, otherwise keep those hips up. We're just going to do some bridging marching. So you're lifting one knee up, lowering down. Lifting one knee up and lower down. So we're exhaling on the knee up so we can feel that that pelvic floor is drawing in and encouraging that back of leg, that grounded back of leg to support us as we lower down. Let's try 2 more. 1 more. Ground both heels, keeping the knees tracking parallel. You can place a ball or a towel between your knees if you want to engage those inner thighs a little more here. And you're going to drop your hips down an inch, squeeze the butt lift up. 5, 4, think about really drawing in here. 3, 2, hopefully you can feel that back body working, I can. 1, and release down, roll down. Bring your knees in towards your chest, just release any effort through that back body, through your hips if they're feeling tight, just little circles. Awesome work. Now from here, you're just going to roll yourself over onto one side. Stack your head on your forearm, or you can also bolster something underneath your neck for support. Okay, and your heels are back level with your butt, and then from here, top hand either on your hip or in front of your chest just for balance. From here, you're going to open the top leg up into a clam and then squeezing down. So focusing on those external rotators and glutes as we open that knee up. And lower down. Good. So we're not trying to go for the burn, but if you are starting to feel a little bit of loading in that leg, that's awesome, okay? So what we're more focused on is getting everything moving together. So you're feeling that those abdominals are drawing in as you exhale, lift the leg. Breathe into lower down. So here's our focus. We're just going to do another 5. Squeezing your glutes at the top. 4, 3, 2. On the next one, holding at that top range, press into the heels, keeping the hips closed. We're just going to pulse up 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Nice work. Okay, now all I need you to do is grab either a ball or a rolled up towel and place it under that front knee. So that knee comes across and you press the knee on the ball. Your bottom leg goes nice and long, and this top hand again is in front for just balance and support. Now from here, we take a breath in. As you breathe out, engage the core, and you press that knee down into the floor, feeling that waistline lift here, and you're trying to create that underside waist lift, but that flatness to draw in through those bottom abdominals in towards your linear elbow, as well as the top side drawing in and down. And release the leg. So we're pressing down and holding for an in-breath. And release. Exhale as we squeeze down onto the ball. Hold for an in-breath. Release on the end of that in-breath. And go again, squeezing down. So you're exhaling into the squeeze. I want you to hold and breathe in. Let it go. On our next exhalation again. Breathe in. Release off. Exhale, squeeze down onto the ball. This is a really good one to really just feel that activation around those transverse abs. Let's go 2 more. One more time. And nice work. Let that release. And from here, just place your ball out of action just for a moment. So I just don't want it to roll away from me. Okay, come over onto your forearms. You can be on your forearms here or onto your wrists. Just depends if you're carrying any sort of wrist injuries. If you're okay in a 4-point position, stay there. Or if you prefer, you can be on your forearms. So knees are under hips and elbows are underneath your shoulders. From here, I want you to take a breath in. As you breathe out, tighten that belt line, and naturally you can feel that tightening in this gravitational position. I want you just to float one leg up to the ceiling, flex your foot, and from here we're just doing this top range of movement, donkey lifts, up and down, squeezing the butt to put the emphasis at the top of the range, and we're focusing on just moving from the hip joint, not moving from that lower back. Go last 4, 3, 2, hold this one up and pulse, 10, 9, 8, keep narrowing the waist, 7, 6, 2, 1, and release. It's enough, right? One set. Okay, let's go to the other side. So holding steady through that pelvis, flex the foot, squeeze the butt. We're lifting up and down, up and down. So just identify from one side to the other if it feels different. We want to try and get both glutes firing to the same degree. But sometimes we have a lazy glute, okay? And sometimes, naturally we have one leg stronger than the other. So we want to make sure that we can engage them both. So making sure you've got that nice strong lift into the core now, and then we're just going to pulse top range. 10, 9, squeeze the butt. 8, 7, 6, breathing with it. 4, 3, 1, and release. So from here, sit your butt back, release any load through lower back and hips. You can scoot your butt off to one side slightly just to let some tension go. And then to the other side. And then slowly from here, we're coming over onto the other side into our clam work. So heels are together, and they're level with my butt. From here, resting my head on my upper arm, or you can use a towel rolled over underneath your head. So from here, hand in front for balance, or onto your hip. Squeezing the butt, opening that top knee, and close. So not a big range of movement, okay? I want you to keep those hips square towards me. So I'm using my exhalation as I lift up, engaging the core, and thinking about this top hip just pushing away from me slightly so I'm not collapsing completely into that underside of my waist. Now, if you're at a stage you want to work a little harder on these guys, you can always add a band around your knees just to get that little bit more bite into those glutes. Go last 2. Hold at the top here and pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Holding that lift. 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Bring that knee in front. Remember, anytime you can give that glute a little release if you need. Okay, so we're just coming into those activations through your lower abdominals. Okay, so knee is on the ball, bottom leg straight, hand in front, shoulder down. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, you want to squeeze on that ball and drawing in, so that natural suctioning in feeling. Then release. Exhale to press down onto the ball. And release. Exhale, drawing in, squeeze. And release. So these feel quite intense, right? Well, you can really feel that activation. So it's a good one to do. So you just got to make sure that everything is engaging. You've got that postural alignment in check, and release. Making this next one our last one. And release. All right, so from where you are, I want you to grab your ball now. If you don't have a ball, do not worry. Place it between your knees and come over onto all fours. So first off from here, you're going to press down into those arms, tuck that tail under, just marginally, so we get that long lower back. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're not arching the back, you're not rounding the back, just got a slight tuck of that tail so it immediately can feel a little engagement through those lower abs. We're going to come into our 4-point knee hover. So tuck your toes, take a breath in. As you breathe out, I want you to squeeze on the ball as you lift into the pelvic floor, and then hover those knees. We're going to hold here for a count of 3 if you can. 2, 1, and release all effort. Exhale again. So remember, blow before you go. Start to blow, draw the belly, and then lift. Hold 3, 2, 1, and releasing down. And again, exhale, narrow the waist, lifting up through the pelvic floor and transverse abdominals. Lift and hold. 3, 2, 1, and release. One more time. 3, 2, 1, and release all effort there. Nice. Okay, get rid of your ball just for a moment. Hands directly under shoulders. If you need to get off your wrist at all, just sit back into a child's pose. Otherwise, we're coming into opposite arm and leg extension. So stretching long through the body and slowly back down. So we're trying to keep level in our pelvis and our shoulders as we extend and reach, and smoothly down. Inhale, back down. So sliding that shoulder blade back towards the opposite buttock. So working the cross slings in the back body. Really good for posture, these movements. So just go slowly. You're not in a hurry. You're going to make sure that you can feel each movement activating through your core. One more each side. So making sure you're looking straight down, the back of the neck is lifted up. So we're keeping that good posture hold. And slowly down from here. From here, just sit your butt back towards your heels, releasing through your spine. And then from where you are, we're just going to finish with some side body work today. So bringing your ball between your knees and lay down onto one forearm. Flick your feet back behind you, and our focus is the underside of the waist and this oblique, the shoulder. Turn the armpit towards me, top arm to the ceiling or onto your hip. So from here, you're going to squeeze on your ball so you've got those inner thighs active and encouraging that deep core activation. So inhale, exhale, squeeze on the ball. You're just going to lift your hips up, feeling those underside muscles here working, drawing in and up, and lower the hips back down. Exhale to lift. See if you can hold for a moment at the top and lower back down. And release. Two more times. Good. So we're feeling that load through the shoulder and through the waist. Last one. Little hold at the top if you can. And release back down. Nice work. Remove the ball. We're just going to come up into a side stretch, into our mermaid stretch. And then bring yourself around to the other side. So ball between the knees, elbow under shoulder, but feet back level with your butt. So press down into that forearm, rotate the shoulder, so you're drawing that armpit forwards, arm up or to your hip. Take a breath in, exhale, squeezing on that ball, lifting up, so really feeling that engagement, and release down. So your hip just gently kisses the floor, we're not fully grounding, pressing up, hold, and release. You've got another 3. And 2. Just one more to go. Hold this one here. And release. Nice work. From here, let's take a little breather. So hopefully you found that useful, guys. Just a good little warm-up exercise session just to start you moving. Aim for, like I said, 5 repetitions of everything. If that feels like it's too much, just ease back, dial it back. If you want to go longer or more, you can. And you can also fast forward, mix, take anything out that doesn't feel right for you at this moment.